Welcome to Echoes of Commerce. Today we will explore how international trade expanded during the Age of Enlightenment and its impact on the world economy. The Enlightenment, a period spanning from the late 17th century to the 18th century, was an era of significant change in many areas, including economics. International trade flourished thanks to advances in navigation, the opening of new trade routes, and the exchange of ideas and products between continents. In this video, we will break down the key aspects that drove international trade during this era, the main players, and the consequences of these exchanges on the global economy. During the Age of Enlightenment, several actors played crucial roles in the expansion of international trade. These include trading companies such as the British East India Company and the Dutch East India Company. These companies not only traded goods such as spices, tea, silk, and porcelain, but also established colonies and trading stations in Asia, Africa, and the Americas. Independent merchants and nation-states also played an important role, as they sought to expand their markets and secure new sources of wealth. This boom in trade not only enriched these entities, but also transformed economies and societies around the world. International trade during the Age of Enlightenment benefited greatly from innovations in navigation and cartography. The invention of the marine chronometer allowed sailors to determine longitude accurately, improving the safety and efficiency of long voyages. Additionally, advances in cartography resulted in more accurate maps that facilitated exploration and the opening of new trade routes. These developments not only allowed traders to reach farther destinations, but also encouraged the exchange of knowledge between cultures. Porcelains and nautical atlases became essential tools for merchants and explorers of the time. The Enlightenment, with its emphasis on reason, knowledge, and progress, significantly influenced international trade. Enlightenment philosophers and economists promoted ideas of free trade and open markets, challenging the mercantilist restrictions of the past. Adam Smith, with his work The Wealth of Nations, argued for the division of labor and free trade as a means of increasing general wealth. These ideas not only impacted the economic policies of the time, but also inspired merchants and entrepreneurs to seek new opportunities and markets. The exchange of ideas during the Enlightenment helped create a more interconnected and dynamic global economy. One of the darkest aspects of the rise of international trade during the Age of Enlightenment was the slave trade. Millions of Africans were captured and transported to the Americas in inhumane conditions to work on plantations and mines. This trade generated enormous profits for European merchants and economies, especially in products such as sugar, tobacco, and cotton. However, it also left a legacy of suffering and inequality that endures to this day. The slave trade was an integral part of the triangular trade between Europe, Africa, and the Americas, and had a profound impact on the demographics, economies, and social structures of the regions involved. Colonies played a crucial role in international trade during the Age of Enlightenment. Europe established colonies in America, Africa, and Asia to exploit natural resources and open new markets for their products. The American colonies, for example, supplied sugar, tobacco, cotton, and other products that were highly in demand in Europe. In exchange, the colonies received European manufactures, creating an economic dependence that benefited the colonial powers. The colonies also served as strategic points for trade and defense, facilitating European control over vast areas of the world. During the Age of Enlightenment, demand for exotic goods such as spices, silk, porcelain, and tea grew exponentially in Europe. These products, originating in Asia and America, became symbols of status and luxury among the European elite. The British East India Company and the Dutch East India Company played vital roles in bringing these goods to Europe. This trade not only enriched merchants, but also fostered European interest in other cultures and their products, thus fueling exploration and commercial expansion. The growth of international trade during the Age of Enlightenment was also driven by financial innovations. The creation of banks, insurance companies, and stock markets facilitated the financing of commercial expeditions and risk management. The establishment of the London Stock Exchange in 1698 and the creation of the Bank of England in 1694 are examples of institutions that played a crucial role in the rise of trade. These innovations allowed traders and entrepreneurs to access capital and insurance, reducing the risks associated with long-distance trade and fostering economic growth. The rise of international trade also brought with it conflicts and rivalries between European powers. Wars and competitions for control of trade routes and markets were common. The Seven Years' War, 1756 to 1763, is a notable example, where Great Britain and France fought for global dominance, affecting their colonies and trade routes. These conflicts not only impacted the economies of the nations involved, but also altered trade dynamics and control of key territories in the Americas, Africa, and Asia. The legacy of international trade during the Age of Enlightenment is vast and complex. This period laid the foundation for modern globalization, establishing economic and cultural connections that endure to this day. The ideas of free trade and open markets promoted by Enlightenment thinkers continue to influence contemporary economic policies. However, we must also recognize the negative aspects, such as colonial exploitation and the slave trade, which left deep scars on history. Reflecting on this legacy helps us better understand the present and seek more fair and equitable trade in the future. Today, international trade remains a powerful force driving the global economy. From the products we buy in the supermarket to the technology we use daily, many of these goods are the result of complex international trade networks established centuries ago. For example, the coffee you drink in the morning may come from Brazil, while your smartphone may be assembled with components from various parts of the world. Globalization has made it possible for us to have access to an incredible variety of products, but it has also raised challenges such as the need for fair and sustainable regulations. Reflecting on the rise of international trade during the Enlightenment helps us better appreciate and understand today's global economy. Don't forget to subscribe, share this video, leave your like and comment.